Do you agree with Deion that Shedeur is going to start this year with the Browns?
I wish I could, but I don't. I love Deion. I love his son. His son should have been the first overall pick again. I'll say it. But I don't see how Shedeur is going to get any shot in Cleveland this year unless it's something like you experienced where everybody gets hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm knocking on wood for everybody because I don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm going to assume that Deion taped the New Heights podcast at the end of last week. It was dropped on Monday.
Right.
But it had to be taped ahead of Cleveland shocking the Green Bay Packers. So I assume he was talking about the 0-2 Browns. But Deion said, I have a prediction to make. I don't know if he had inside information with that prediction. He does know Jimmy Haslam, the owner, and Shedeur's only hope in Cleveland is that the owner wants some kind of publicity splash at some point in the season, because that's why the owner stepped up and insisted that his coach and GM step back and take Shedeur Sanders, because they had no use for Shedeur Sanders. Trust me, no use. It's why they took Dillon Gabriel 50 slots ahead of Shedeur. 50 slots. They took another rookie quarterback that you watched at Oregon, that I watched a whole lot at Oklahoma. And as I've always said about Dillon Gabriel, I think he's a little better than Tua. They played the same way. He's 5'11", 205-ish, built stocky like Tua, nice arm, accurate, but he ain't Shedeur. Shedeur is very special to me, and if Shedeur were starting right now for the Cleveland Browns, I think they'd be the talk of the league, because here's the issue. They did just beat the Packers because they have the number one defense in the National Football League. In yards allowed, they are number one. In rush yards allowed, they are number one. And all of a sudden, little Judkins started running the rock the other day. So if you gave Shedeur Judkins in that defense, I guarantee you he would be lighting it up, because he was born and raised to be a starting quarterback in the National Football League. It's in his genes. It's in his bloodline. It's in his psyche. The league wanted to teach him and his father a lesson. That's why he fell to the 5th round. But the problem is, Cleveland has the potential. As I look down the list, I can see him winning 7 or 8 games. Seriously, as I start looking at this, they got Miami at home. They go to New England. They could win those games. They go to the Jets. They could win that game. At Las Vegas, I don't know. I'd give them a shot. Tennessee at home, yeah, definitely. Then at Cincinnati, after what we saw Sunday, I'd give them a shot there. And the 2 Pittsburgh games are they're division rival games. So could they beat the Steelers? Yeah, they could. So all of a sudden, Flacco had a nice finish to the game the other day. He leads the NFL in pass attempts, which is he and Dak. They lead in pass attempts. So Stefanski loves Flacco. Stefanski obviously loves Dillon Gabriel. Stefanski loves Bailey Zappi, who he brought back and is on the practice squad, but I think he's really number 3 on the depth chart, because Belichick took him and thought he was the next Brady and started him, 6 games in New England? Yeah. I think he went 4. No, it was 8 games. I think he went 4-4, and then he started 1 game for the Browns last year. Yeah. Well, he's there, and so how's Shedeur going to get a shot unless the owner steps in and just says, stop it? If they fall to, where they're like 2-12 or something, then maybe he'd say, let's just take a shot here and maybe take the stink off us. If they're really struggling, maybe take the onus off, take the blame off, and let's go fresh with Shedeur, almost in a way like Jackson Dart for us. So that's the only way I see it. But if Stefanski stays in charge, it's going to be over his dead body that Shedeur is going to play a real snap this year. That's just me.
I think if Prime said it, you're not coming on the biggest podcast. They like number 1, you know what I'm saying?
They are.
With their ratings and shit.
Yeah.
You're not coming on that podcast if you ain't got some intel, you know what I'm saying? So if Prime said it, I think it's going to happen. He got a nice little bug in his ear telling him that this going to happen, you know what I'm saying, under some circumstances. So The Browns did win a game this past weekend, but it damn sure wasn't because of the quarterback play. Flacco threw for about 125 yards.
Until the very end, he did okay.
Yeah, he threw a nice little slant to the tight end.
He did.
Set him up for a field goal.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo. There you go. Hey, there you go, Flacco. Great throw, Flacco. He made one throw all damn day. So, I mean.
Playing a tough defense, though.
He got a good defense. The defense is why they won that game. I mean, it wasn't, y'all was 4 of 13 on third down. That wasn't the reason you won the game. You know what I'm saying? So, I say Flacco, his next 2 games is the Lions and the Vikings. I think they get braced by the Lions. The Vikings struggling at quarterback, but they got a damn good defense.
You know, I'll make a quick prediction. I bet the Lions will have a hard time bouncing back off that emotional win last night, and they'll win the game, but I bet it'll be closer than you think it will be.
Oh, yeah, that's the NFL, though. I mean, the NFL, a close game is 1 or 3 point win. A blowout
defense, as you know, it's a long, hard day against that defense.
It is. Yeah. It is. But I think that offense from the Lions, they're ready for a long, hard day. You know what I'm saying? Them good veterans, they're ready for a long, hard day. So I think after the Lions game, after the Vikings game, Flacco 1-4. At 1-4, it's time to sit down, Flacco.
Okay.
I think Flacco's done. And Dillon Gabriel comes in. Dillon Gabriel got the Steelers, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Jets, the Ravens. I think out of them 5 games, he get him 1 win. He take 1. You got to go to.
You think only 1 win out of those?
You got to go to Pittsburgh. You got to go to New England. Them tough places to get wins, period. I don't care what their team look like. If you got to go there and get a win, the crowd play a big part.
You don't play for the Patriots anymore.
I know that, right? But I spent a lot of time there, and no matter what, who their quarterback is, that's a tough place to play. It's going to be a dogfight if you go in there. So I just see Dillon Gabriel going 1-4 in his 5 games. Now, if you 2-8, the season is over. What do we do now, Skip? We get a city.
You're right. Yeah.
At this point, we get a city what they want, right?
Okay.
What the city want. They want Shedeur.
What the nation wants. Seriously.
The whole nation.
Yeah.
So my prediction, week 12.
Okay.
Week 12
versus the Raiders. That'll be Shedeur's first start. We'll see. That's a good game to put him in. It's not an overpowering team. You know, we 2-8 at this point. You start Shedeur, see what he can do.
Okay.
He's going to come back to Cleveland with a win.
Deion and Shedeur did have dinner with Jimmy Haslam, the owner, before the draft. So maybe they text, maybe he's got a little inside info from the guy who counts.
The guy who matters.
Yeah. It's Deion Sanders. I promise you, he probably talks to everybody in the league. Like he knows everyone.
Deion not going on no podcast.
Yeah, he's not going to lie about that.
He's going to get his start. He's going to get his out. Bro, he's not going to do himself like that, man. He know what time it is, man. Yeah. He know everybody in the league. Man, he plugged in. He know what time it is. It's probably some circumstances behind it.
If he knows everything or is talking to people, and he passed up on Philly and Baltimore, right?
Well, he didn't pass up. He let Shedeur make his own decisions, man. I talked to Prime FaceTime.
If he talked to the Browns and he's like, okay, they weren't planning on sitting, and then Shedeur gets listed as QB4.
But he knew at this point.
He knew that?
Yeah, he knew that. At this point, bro, it's free agency time now. It's 5th round. Teams are on my phone. It's free agency time now. Where you want to go, where you feel like you can go take a job at. You know what I'm saying? And that's the decision. Shedeur made that decision himself. He let Shedeur make his own decisions. You know what I'm saying? Shedeur made that decision. He felt like he can go to Cleveland and earn something there. He didn't feel like he can go to Philly and take Hurt's spot. He didn't feel like he can go to the Ravens and take Lamar's spot. He felt like if I went to Cleveland, before this thing is over with, I got to opt to play. And I think he made a good decision because he will have opt to play.
And I agree with that. That's what makes me feel a little bit better. We talked last week. I said, I would have liked to see him go to Baltimore and develop. I didn't know if the Cleveland decision was on him or he just got picked by them, but the fact that he made that decision, then I feel a little bit better about that. I think we'll see both rookies this year. I do. I agree with Akeem. I think, although they won against Green Bay the other day, the offense didn't look great. If the offense keeps struggling, even if they sneak by on some of these wins, I think it's going to be time for them to see what they have in both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. I just hope that they give Sanders the same opportunity that they give Gabriel. And to your point, you're saying, okay, Flacco goes out if they're 0-4, 1-4, whatever it is. They throw Gabriel in, he loses a couple games, then they put Shedeur in at 2-8, or even worse, say they get to 2-10. I just worry if they throw him in that situation, the team is already going to be checked out, right? The season's over. We got nothing to play for. Towards the end of the year, you're dealing with some injuries. They might not be at full strength. I just worry that they throw him in there And if he struggles, they say, see, look, I told you he's not going to play well, and they use that as an excuse, and he's not given a fair shot. Yeah. That's the biggest thing I worry about. But what I do feel good about this, and after I talked about it the other day, you have to remember, Shedeur Sanders is built for this type of situation. I mean, he went to Jackson State and he turned that program around. Yeah. He went 23-3 as a starter. Then he went to Colorado. I followed Colorado for a while. That program is historically bad. I mean, they had one winning season in the last 17 years before he got there. They were 1-11 before Coach Prime and Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders got there, and in just 2 years, he led them to a 9-win season. So he knows what it takes, and that was their first year in the Big 12, too. That was a tough conference that year. He knows what it takes to turn an organization around, so I believe that he can handle that type of situation. My biggest worry is that, to your point, is he's not being developed the right way now, being QB3 or QB4, whatever it is, getting some of those scout team reps, but he's not working with the ones. He's not running the offense at all, and then we get to week 14, and everything's going downhill, and they say, all right, Shedeur, here's your chance. Go prove everyone that you can be the guy, and it doesn't work. And Stefanski and the Browns, who maybe didn't want him, say, see, I told you so, and he's not given that fair opportunity. That's my biggest worry in this situation.
I think he does end up playing, and obviously there are a lot of factors to think about here, but historically, I feel like Cleveland has been a team that has normally leaned on their defense. And it kind of creates a lane for a rookie quarterback to go in there and, kind of do his thing. Like, I feel that both, like you guys said, both the young quarterbacks will play, but I think in the end, Shedeur will be the guy. And I just feel like, and kind of what Skip was saying, he's made for this. I think that mentally, and he has a psyche for it. It'll be interesting to see these next stretch of games, like he was saying, to see what that's going to look like, but I do believe that he'll be in there playing, and I think he'll do a really good job.
Agreed.
Well, I want to talk last night's game because that was